That's nice. Nice that they've got it pretty very promptly. Okay, so the Miami Open draw for the men has just come out, and there are some interesting matches in the first rounds, especially in the fourth round and beyond. Of course, the quarterfinals and that are going to be fun, but yeah, there are some interesting clashes. Let's go have a look at who's not going to be playing, though, because there are some big names that have pulled out. Okay, so the withdrawal list, we have Milos Raonic, he's pulled out. Karatsev, he's also pulled out. McDonald won't be playing this one either. Novak Djokovic, biggest name to pull out of this event. And Stan Wawrinka will also be missing from this tournament. Djokovic and Wawrinka, I think, are focusing more on clay court tennis, so that's why they won't be featured this year. All right, top of the draw. We've got 32 seeds in this one, and all 32 seeds get a bye in the first round. Carlos Alcaraz is the number one seed, gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on either Vukic or Baena in the second round. Then you got Dusan Lajovic taking on Gael Monfils. Winner plays the number 32 seed Coric in the second round. So Monfils, Coric, winner plays Alcaraz could be the combination of matches that we get. A little bit awkward for Alcaraz, I think, early. Then you've got 23rd seed Musetti, gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on either Safiullin or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got Lander Lucci taking on Manar. Winner of that will take on the number 16 seed Shelton in the second round. Shelton Alcaraz, fourth round. Love that. Love that. There are some more good players in this section, though. Of course, we're going to be watching Alcaraz. You've got Shelton in there as well. Coric and Musetti, they can have good weeks. Monfils, though, he is definitely a danger player. What happened last week, did really well in Indian Wells. And Safiullin also shouldn't be overlooked.
All right. Hello, everybody. Yeah, you came right at the beginning. Not many people here. I'll try to get. Hey, boy. Hey, good boy. I'll try to get Ham on. I'm not feeling very well. I hope it's not. I hope it's not something contagious like republicanism. El Dudorino, Zizu, T. Alex, hey Mark. God, there's not very many comments. I guess all the stocks are down. Hey Eddie. Hey the one. Hey cute little girl. Hey Ryan. Squire. I'd say it's another day in the fraud market. You know, David, they don't care. They just don't care. And you almost have to think it's intentional. You really do have to think that it's almost intentional. Let's see. Good day. I mean, what I mean is intentional, that they don't enforce any rules. Obviously, the breaking the rules is intentional, but you know what I mean, that they just let it go on and on. Hope you feel well. Yeah, I fell well. Maybe. Hell of a thing, killing a man. Yeah, there's something going around. We just had really cold weather, and I think it still is cold. And I went out with Lucky without wearing my heaviest, and maybe that's it. But it's something. I don't know. I can just feel it. So I just keep my fingers crossed that it's not going to be something really bad. Hey, Pilot. Stocks down like my optimism. Well, at least you have some optimism. Pot stocks are high today. A red pepper, elderberry tea. Elderberry tea. That sounds good. Elderberry tea. Elderberry tea. I don't know what's making them go up. Could be some tax thing or some regulatory. So it's certainly not a shortage of pot. Yeah, they just nibble and it's terrible. Hey, Sunil. Hey, Mantan. Well, they do want to discredit us, and in one sense, they're correct. And I'm not trying to give them any positive support, but they know that their friends will just sell stock that doesn't exist, move stock around, counterfeit shares, and so they know. And I was talking with Ham yesterday. Some of this, fighting the whole system, it just wears you out. You can't win. On the other hand, should you quit? I don't think you should quit. If a rate cut on Wednesday, I don't think they're cutting rates. But I read everywhere that rates are going lower and all that. I just don't see it. Opinions are like noses. We all have one, but I think by semi, almost being tough on interest rates, these rates are still very, very low. I mean, most of my adult life, 5% would have been cheap as hell. But anyway, they look like they're being tough on interest rates, but in the back door, they're just printing money. The Fed buys the Treasury. We're running huge deficits. We're buying off student loans. We're giving debit cards to anyone who wants to come into the country. Unless you're poor and black in the country, you're not getting a debit card. But if you're or poor and white, but if you come in, here you go. You're in then. And the wars, they're just flooding the markets with liquidity. So I don't think they're going to give up this one little thing they can point to that they're fighting inflation. So I don't personally see interest rates going down. Yeah, that's it. That's what it feels like. It could also, if I'm lucky, it could also be pollen. And then pollen isn't pleasant, but it's not contagious. Oh, I'm sorry about the flu. Uh, yeah, Sam Bankman Fraud. I personally think he was a patsy for everybody. I think he was a patsy. Oh, I got to sign back in. I was going to give you some of the scores, and now it just told me I'm signed out. Sorry, I'm just signing in. We can look at some of the scores quickly around the league. GDC 142, RCRT 151, Logic 1.5. Um, HNRC 0.022. GTII is 30 cents. ZJYL was crushed earlier. It's even more crushed. It's down $1 at 336. I guess all the information I'm getting on that must be wrong. HNRA is up over 3. T low hits a new low. It's down either 9 cents or 93. It's down 93 cents. MMAT is up 0.12. I don't feel good. I do not feel good. All right, let's go down the list of things. Somebody really hates logic today. Well, I don't know that they hate it any more than they ever did before. It is trading. Anyway, for those, Heath, I don't know. For those that have my email, anybody that I can talk with offline, I will on that. Yeah, they'll try to get ZJYL down. What I understand is, this group is still working very positive on the long side. But, the thing is, they being the criminals can just sell stock that doesn't exist. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. You could be bloody Dr. Bleeding Branovsky. You could be, I doubt even Goldman Sachs has enough money. Well, they probably do. But you need the Federal Reserve in there buying to stop it. There doesn't feel like any squeezes are going on in anything. You're here for folks? Okay. I have to say, I've been my information on ZJYL has been completely wrong. But that doesn't mean I don't think. Remember, they might be head faking that rope-a-dope strategy, but who knows? Yeah, Chuck, I happen to agree with you on that. 1977, reasonably good year. Oregano oil. Oregano oil? Okay, I like oregano. I like original oregano. Yeah, DBMM seems to have some strength, so maybe there's a buy-in going on. APS 71. Yeah, ZJYL down to 333. ZJYL will never squeeze. Well, I would think, Chuck, if you make that prediction about most stocks, you're going to be right. And even if a stock does squeeze, if you make the prediction that it won't squeeze today, this week, this month, this year, you're going to be right most of the time. Any of the squeezes which have happen over a span of maybe 2 days to 2 weeks, which means out of a 52-week year, it's only in the middle of the squeeze 2 weeks out of 50. So most of the time you're going to be right. Yeah, spoofing is getting strong. There is something going on, but man. Oh, I should let Ham know. I should let Ham know the T low hit a new low. Hey, Root's up. You got that going for you. Let's see where Root is. God, I don't feel well, guys. I do not feel well. Root is up 450 at 57 smackers. Aloha. Buenas tardes, amigo. Now they're trying to shake everybody out. ZJYL. Robert, I really don't have thoughts on Cypher. Maybe you can jump start my thought pattern on that. Hey, C Hunter. Hey, PYT. KYP. Does that say 20,000% or 20? It looks like 20.000. So is it 20% or is that a comma? I can't tell. So maybe you're saying 20,000%. That might recover back to its previous levels. Hey, Frank. I know, Mark. I'm not going to go past 4 o'clock. I hope it's not something bigger. In my opinion, Buck, well, yes, they can entertain it. They can entertain a buyout. But in my opinion, as soon as it's hard to come up with a hypothetical. But let's just say, Chevron or Exxon came in and offered shares at some ridiculous level. I'll make it up, $500 a share. I think as soon as that happened, that lawyers, if we can break the lawyers into the good guys and the bad guys, good gals and the bad gals. Of course, lawyers are always innocent. They just represent their clients. And if their clients happen to be a criminal, they're just doing their job. Lawyers are always good. Lawyers always know best. Lawyers always have the facts, and their motives are always pristine. But I think as soon as there were a whiff of hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, the lawyers on the bad side would tie up that sale, would tie up those assets. And they would say, hey, we have a claim. And maybe the lawyers on the good side too. But I think it would all get frozen. So my feeling is, Buck, until McCabe gets the full allocation of 164,730,420 shares allocated, they won't entertain any buyouts because they really need to know the number. Once that's done, then the issue of the naked shorts, the counterfeit shares, the fraudulent shares, which people out there say, oh, that doesn't exist. There's systems in place. It's just algorithmic trading. Well, we're about to find out. And if NextBridge has, as is rumored, 500, 600 million shares too many, those same people say, oh, it's just NextBridge. It's Torchlight, MMAT. That's unique. Well, how believable will that be if Greg McCabe can prove, hey, we had 164,730,420 shares of MMTLP, which converted into the private company NextBridge, and that's done. Here's our NOBO list. Here's our list. Here's our objecting list as well. Here's our shareholder list with the names redacted. That means every share in the brokerage firms is counterfeit. And then all those apologists for the system. And oh, you can't just use those numbers. You're not taking into account that they're buying back. These are good customers. They're allowed to break the law intraday. They can sell stock they don't own at the beginning of the day, as long as they buy it back at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. And you're not seeing the buybacks. This is the apologist's argument. But if MMTLP exists in brokerage accounts after Greg McCabe has fully allocated all of the NextBridge shares, Houston, we have a problem. And the apologists, they'll say, oh, it's just NextBridge. It's not any other stock in the country. Well, at some point, they got to start looking at the evidence in front of their eyes. I think we need to make a cabinet position out of this. United States Secretary of the U.S. Securities Markets. I nominate Anna Queen of Trades. 20,000. Wow. Maybe I'll wish I did own DBMM, but I took my losses in it last year. Hey, Brian. Well, the fundamentals of DBMM are very similar to every other company you hear about. But the best thing about DBMM is that the CEO, that's not really her title. I forget her name, Linda Perry, maybe. She's really fighting hard. And when do basketball pools have to be in? I'm checking to see if I missed my bracket. Not that I'm any good at it. Guess not. I never win. I'm Miley Cyrus all over. Oh, it's in my neck. It's in my throat. And of course my eye, but it's in my head. It's like I don't think I have a fever. I try not to follow too many people, Jordan, simply so that when you're listening to me, you're hearing my ideas and it's different, but I never really followed Lou, but I think Lou got a lot of things correct. And one of the biggest things, I believe, is he sees an opportunity in the over-the-counter markets to trade and to make money. But we're just hit with the indifference of the regulators. They do not care. They simply do not care. It's unheard of. That's why I think they should make a cabinet position. Get rid of FINRA, get rid of the SEC, and start a brand new federal bureaucracy. And if you take the job, you got to be there 20 years before you can use your Rolodex and before you can be hired by a law firm or a brokerage firm. When the 5-year and 30-year Treasury yields invert, rates will rise again. Let me just think about what you're saying. Of course, you're pointing out there's more than one interest rate. I kid. I just really think the Fed, if the Fed is who we're talking about, it might be the Treasury, or it might be the banksters, but they're really walking a fine line, because if the bond market ever gets a whiff that Janet Yellen or Jerome Powell aren't wearing any clothes, the bond market will give up the ghost. And as much as we like to believe the Fed controls interest rates, it's that huge momentum of belief that the Fed controls interest rates, belief that the United States is going to do the right thing with its bond market and its dollar. But if they lose that and the bond market, you could see interest rates at 15, 16% again. And why do I say that? Because I've seen them. And on the other hand, if we go into a depression, which we might well do, I don't know how real estate is still up. It's on such a global level. In this city, and I'm going to offend, I don't mean to offend anyone. It's just a trend I see. Women are buying, the women have the jobs in DC. Women have most of the I'm talking in the younger cohort of human beings, but women have the big jobs. They have the big salaries. And more than one of my friends, although I'm not in touch with them so much, the man works at a bar, does something else, but the woman is the K Street lawyer or whatever. But my point is that women are buying real estate. Well, could that be the last guy in the pool? Hello? Let me, I gotta get this. I gotta get this speaker. So anyway, what my point is, it's they're buying, and every house here goes, as soon as it's listed, it's bought. Well, that's great. That's great. But who's going to buy after that? And then you've got older people selling at some point. I don't know. It's hard to suss what's going to happen to real estate.
Andy.
All right, you should be live at 3:01, 3 o'clock live.
3 o'clock, I'm live. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you're live right now.
So, from what I'm hearing from everybody on the street, the naked shorts are attacking multiple stocks, not just a few that we follow. So, for those who think that they're just following what we're saying, they're attacking stocks all over the place. And I'm hearing it from many different people and symbols I know nothing about. So, again, for those who think that it's just us that are being under attack, it's all over the place. And this only shows me that there is something more going on than we can see or understand. In the ZJYL, the big holders are trying to get their shares out of Interactive Brokers, and I'm told that's happening any day. So that could be the attack, trying to get people to sell. But the only people that own it are the big holders, and they know what's going on. If they didn't sell it at 300, they're not selling it now, but they keep attacking it. TELO. I know the guy that bought the whole thing. He's not selling any. He owns the whole float, and yet they keep selling it down. GDC has slowed down as much, not as much as the other ones. I mean, it's slowed down, but it's just the attacks are all over the place. And I even told you this morning, I posted on Twitter before I disappeared, that the video is going to be short, that the game has changed. They broke the back of the stock. The stock rallies up, and now you short the rallies on all these names. All right, it's pretty easy to see what they're doing now. They're doing it in multiple stocks. They destroyed Tesla down. Now they're taking it back up, $9 to cover. They're covering that. That's what those spikes are now, covers. All right, so the game has changed, and it's so deadly that you just got to wait it out. There's nothing more I can say. It's miserable. Trust me, I know. I'm watching it. All right. I have my family and all these names, and you know what? When they turn, and they will, just look at Root, ROOT. For the 20th time, I've told you about it. They destroyed the company. The company came out recently and said their revenue is larger than they expected for the quarter. I don't know the exact number. And they only lost $7 million versus $10 million for the quarter. The stock went from 7 to 60. That is shorts trying to cover. That's what happens when they throw in the towel. Investors who were wiped out in that name are not running back in to go make major positions in it again. They all know what happened last time. So those are the shorts, which is a massive short position. I had the number on it. I can't remember what it was. But the stock has gone from 7 to 60. Today was over $60. And that's what I see happening to Finger Motion. Why? Because I believe Finger Motion, the CEO told us, he expects to get to profitability soon, if not this quarter coming up or whatever it is, the year end. They have other deals in the work. They have a dividend in the work. These are all things that are going to make the stock explode. Very different than a GTII. GTI, Richard Hoffman posted that the company is going to have something out by the end of March. Hopefully they put a business together that will put a floor in the stock, let's say 30 cents, so then we can build off of that. Very different than a Finger Motion. ZJYL, the big boys here have the whole company. They're just selling stock back and forth. I posted about Friday's cross trade. The short seller was now short at $4.38 on the 325,000 shares. And now they attack it again. And the guy who bought those shares is probably selling them out. And they're just selling the same stock back and forth. Brilliant. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Let me go to the bottom and do it in reverse order. Hang on, my computer is slow. With all the fraud in the overall market, wouldn't CEO communications count more than ever? Since we can't believe the
CEOs don't have the balls to speak, so forget that. They're lawyers. The lawyers for the public company,
particularly if they're women.
Say it again, William.
Particularly when they're women, but I'm just kidding.
Oh, fuck that! Stop with that woman shit. Stop. I don't care who you are.
I'm just joking.
CEO, a woman, a man, whoever it is, the lawyers are telling them you can't say anything, or the SEC will come after you. So that's what all these CEOs are afraid of their shadow. All right. Like, for example, GNS, that guy came out talking a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, he sold all the shareholders out. All right. But he had to do it for his business. I don't blame the guy. He sit there and he said he's got a business that he wants to, whatever it is, and he wants to build it, and he could care less. And that's what happens. ROOT reversed the stock 25-1. Why did they do it? They needed to get compliant with the NASDAQ, or else they would be shamed getting kicked off the NASDAQ. So they took away 25% of everybody's holdings. The company at $60 is not even $1 billion. It was an IPO of $9 billion. So it's still not even there yet. So for those people who think that you see a stock after they do the reverse, it works, it's so wonderful, it's not true. All right, so that company, if you invested in it before they did the reverse, of course, after they did the reverse, if you want to go out there and buy it, good luck. You're watching Root break away from the shorts. 9 out of 10 never do. They just restart over again and bash it back down again. For those that want to do something, Hester Pierce is going to be in Tampa. Go to her Twitter. She's welcome. She wants you to email her questions, and she'll meet with you. I wish the MMTO people would just go down there and protest and let her know about what's going on in their saga. She knows all about it. Go get her. She's right there. Give up on the Washington nonsense. If no one signed a subpoena yet, how much longer are they going to wait? They're all a bunch of spineless fools, those people in D.C. So either do something yourself, or you're just going to keep dragging your feet. I'm with you. Go get them in D.C., but it's taken too long. It's been over.
Call from Vic Orders time.
Where's the answers? Now what person follows up?
This guy, his mind is blown that we're not talking about ZJYL.
I started the conversation with ZJYL. You probably do not own enough shares to even make a difference in ZJYL. My friends own all the stock. What would you like me to say? If they're not selling it, what would you like me to do? Get blood from them? They didn't sell it when it was 300. They're not selling it here when it's 60, whatever the hell it is now. It's $3. So 3 times 20 is $6. Is $60. It's still $60. They didn't sell it when it was 300. How much more do you want me to say about it? Interactive Brokers is the fraud. They won't give the people their shares. Call the SEC, call the FBI, call whoever you like. I can't. What would you like me to say? I don't even own that one. I own GDC. I used all the money I had to buy GDC and didn't buy that one. What would you like me to say all day long? GTII, for those who say I never talk about it, it's 30 cents for 15 days in a row. That's like the sun never going in. It just stays out all the time. How is that possible? Everybody wakes up and says, let's all sell it, buy and sell our stock at 30 cents today. Every day. Nothing strange there. The only stock that doesn't go down is KNW. Go short that one. Lynn Partners, they owe Lynn Partners $12 million. How is the stock not going down? That's because Lynn Partners is trying to prop it up to sucker people in. They're going to wait for the CEO to come out with some more news, and then they're going to lay into it. They can't make any money if there's no volume.
So on ZJYL, this guy's asking, do you think it's the shorts or the longs second guessing their long
No, the
position?
longs. So I just told you the longs haven't sold a share. So you want to blame the longs? Do you want me to say that again? The longs still own the stock. I spoke to my friend.
All right.
And he's one of the major longs. I'll say it again. He's not sold a share. He's confident. They're trying to get shares at it. I told you that before. Interactive Brokers is fucking around. That's the longs is still there. You want me to say that again, William?
No, I don't get mad at me. I'm just relaying
I'm not
the
getting mad. I'm
question.
just answering I want to make sure the guy heard what I said.
Yeah. Now, apparently, Mark Bazile put something up that hedge funds are suing the Treasury. I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
Well, the hedge funds are going after the government because they're changing the rules, I think, on the SEC on the short seller requirements. They don't want they don't want the rules to be approved. So it's like the crooks telling the banks, you can't put locks on the doors. That's what they're saying. That's pretty easy. That's what they're saying. Unless Mark has a different story, I haven't seen it. Mark should be posting a story about the capybara for all of us. That's what he needs to do. And I'm sure he will.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about an update on MMTLP. I know you don't have that.
MMTLP, the people of, listen, MMTLP, everybody's fucked in that stock. I applaud what they're doing in DC. I applaud everything that people are trying to do, but they need to refocus, insult the SEC, put the truck out there with the most insulting things you can. Stop wasting your money having a guy walk the halls of DC. Go down to Hester Pierce and Tampa. She's going to be there the 16th or 17th, whatever the days are. Protest out in front of the place wherever she is. Take pictures of her with the signs when she walks past you. Shame on her. Shame her. Do like everybody else does. Stop. Take the gloves off and start fighting back. Not tiptoeing. So you need to step up and be obnoxious. They stole your money and they don't even give a shit.
Are you allowed to talk about whatever happened in court with Capybara? Okay.
All I know is it involves that guy Igor Appleton.
Igor.
And he's got SHOT is after him. And the judge is going to smack him around. So that's all I can tell you. Let them tell you what it is. I can't. Those days are coming to an end. He's going to get exposed and he's going to have to turn on everybody else who gave him stories. It's a different angle. We know Lynn is quarterback in this thing. We know that. Just remember one thing about Lynn Partners and Finger Motion and KNW and PXMD and RWLK and all the stocks they make it shorted and stole from. They signed the notes. We won't short it. Their friends do it. When the stocks get away from them, they're in trouble. They bring out people like Capybara, a hired gun. The guy's a buffoon. He should have been arrested the other day in court. But let them tell you the story, what happened. I don't know how they let him out of the court. But when he does get arrested, he'll give up everybody. So let Lynn Partners deal with that.
When are Fingers earnings due?
I don't know. I listened to you with that stupid end of the year, first quarter.
Oh yeah. He explained it. It should be March. It should be the end of March.
It's coming up.
Let's see. Okay, you can't talk about court. Are Spikes covers?
Are Spikes covering? Yes, I think they're covering in Tesla. That's a spike. I think they're covering Root, ROOT. It was 7. It went to 60. It's safe to say that someone's covering something there. If the funds weren't buying it at 7, you think they're paying 60 for it today?
Yeah. This guy's pointing out that big investors aren't the only one that owns the shares in
What's that? Big
T-Low and
investors that what? Big
CJYO.
investors, say that again, what?
He's pointing out that big investors aren't the only ones who own TELO and ZJYO. We all
Yeah,
do.
well, again, I'm talking about big investors. There are no big investors in CJYO. When the stock was trading $300, the volume that people were buying were 1,500. I know someone that actually bought 3,000 or 4,000 shares. That's the biggest guy that I know, and he paid $280 for it. 3,000. And the volume was 15,000, 12,000 every day, maybe 30. And that was shorts trying to cover and people trading it back and forth. I'm talking people that own 500,000 to millions of shares. That's what I'm talking about, big investors. No one went out and bought this stock. Fidelity Management didn't go out there and buy 1 million shares of the stock and is selling it down. That's just completely false. TELO is even more stupid than that statement. I know the people that own all the shares, and my friend's got people that he knows that bought most of the shares. So let's say a big investor bought it, okay? What'd they buy? 10,000 shares? That's the tops. That around anybody that we know on this phone call, that would be the tops.
Okay.
I put away 150,000 shares, and everybody that I know from family and friends owns 3 to 2 and 5,000 shares. That's it. No more than that. In GTI and Finger, there's many multiple big players there. That's a truth. But there is no selling. Everyone is buying and selling GTI at the same price. And Finger Motion stopped trading weeks ago. It's just manipulation every day, back and forth, the same shares. TELO just went public at 7. They're going to their first conference presenting their data at the end of the month. Hurry up. Let's sell it down as fast as we can. That, my friends, is fraud in less than 25 days of trading. I can't stop the fraud. I can point it out to you. How the government continues to allow it is amazing. And if anybody here on the phone wants to be a whistleblower, I can teach you how to do it. And maybe, just maybe, we won't wind up like the Boeing whistleblower. That's how dangerous this game is. The people on the other side of this coin are going to lose billions and billions and billions, maybe $1 trillion here. That's how big this game is. And if everyone on this phone, I understand it, will lose the money, I got it. But if we don't stand up and fight, you're going to get wiped out. Your kids are going to get wiped out. And it's just going to continue. This is going to come to an end. China, South Korea, everybody else is spitting on the U.S. India, they all know. After they rob the poor, they rob the middle class. After the middle class, they start to go for the upper class. What are they doing? In India, they're going after the upper class. So the hedge funds in the U.S. are attacking India's big companies, trying to kill them. And they got busted for it. In the U.S., we have small companies that are doing everything they can, using whatever money they have to try to expose this crime. You have to hire lawyers to go after Capybara, a criminal, and he has any rights to even speak. It's impossible. They all know the rules. Lawyers are getting tips from the SEC, tipping off the hedge funds about the rule changes. And that's what's going on here. Everyone's fighting to steal everybody's money. I don't even know I don't need to tell everybody. People are fighting in the streets. The whole system is out of control. Everything's out of control. Tell me one thing that's normal. No one has anything to say about that.
No, they're not. This guy's wondering if Ken Griffin is involved in shorting ZJYL.
No, I don't think so.
Do you think there's a floor now on ZJYL? It's bounced off of 3.
I'm not watching it all day. I spoke with my friends this morning. They're not happy. They understand that the fraud is within Interactive Brokers. They're trying to pull out millions and millions of shares of stock, and Interactive Brokers is running interference, so they had to get an attorney to do it. Maybe that's why the attack is so
Maybe
bad,
that's
hoping
down
people-
so they can buy some shares to deliver.
But no one's selling it.
I know.
It's just them going back and forth. What's the volume? 300,000, 400,000? I don't even know what it is.
Let me look.
674,000. So at 20 to 1, what is that? Out of 700, right? 100 is it 14,000 shares? What the hell is it? To 140,000? What the hell is it?
How many is it right now? It is
700,000 times 20 is 140.
684. No, you divide it by 20.
Oh,
700,000 divided by 20. It should be 35 grand. It's not very much volume.
yeah. So 35,000 shares traded. And I can guarantee you most of it's back and forth. And guys like William, how many shares do you own? 500, 400 shares? That's it.
420.
So that is, William is like
I'm
exactly,
huge.
he's the sweet spot of holders, that type of number. I have friends got 800 shares, 900, 1,200, like that. Many of them have it. Don't get me wrong, they're losing money, we got it. But how could they sell something that no one is selling? Finger motion, there's no one selling the stock but Lynn Partners and their friends. How come no one's attacking KNW? That's Lynn Partners' deal, $12 million note. How come no one attacks it? I told you before, naked shorts do not go out of their own element. If Lynn has the debenture, no one else is going to go there and sell it. Lynn controls the stock. And that's how it works. GTII, it was the Kramers and Alpine controlling the stock. Are they still doing it? Is Alpine still paying legal fees to keep it alive? You can see that all Richard reports on it. Watch Richard's videos. Listen, we're all tired of it. I got it. I'm not going to say I've been doing it for 24 years and use that. It's continued manipulation, criminal activity. The people behind this should all be rounded up and thrown out of a helicopter in the ocean like they used to do in Venezuela. These are guys that are stealing from the American people and couldn't give a rat's ass about anybody on this phone and their family and their kids. It couldn't kill us. Couldn't kill us. Then they attack us that we're pumping up a stock. We're not pumping up a stock. We're exposing a fraud. If I was pumping up a stock, I'd do it from a dark corner of the world. Like Capybara. That's a scumbag. And whoever hired him. And you know what? It's going to lead to Benzinga and Jason Resnick. I only hope it gets to him. He wants to play games and let people post fraudulent information on his site, and he sells it to E-Trade and Ameritrade. We're not going to stop until he loses all of his accounts if he's doing that. So whoever's giving him the information, he's going to have to give us the email address that sends it to him. Or if it's someone internally drafting those fake reports, then Benzinga will become our company. He'll be out of business. But again, we have to go through the legal system. And these guys just hit a sell button, William.
That's
Sell
all
button,
they
sell
do.
button, sell button.
And no one
All they have to do is
enforces
hit a sell
that.
button.
Nobody enforces settlement. Nobody. Do you think your whale friends are averaging down?
I think they're waiting to do things with Interactive Brokers. I think that's when you'll see them.
Right.
You'll get a sign from the gods there. But I'm a
Roger,
believer, if you are playing, you got to buy it when it's ugly. If you want to short a stock like NVIDIA, you got to short it when it looks great. It was up 30-something points this morning. It looked great. No one would say short it. I was telling you this morning, that's what I would do, short it.
right.
The rallies are going to be, they'll pop and they'll fade. They'll pop and they'll fade. And guess what? People who want to lock in big profits, who bought the stock at 200, 300, these big funds, they're going to slowly keep walking away. And that'll be the worry. That's when they go after the stock. I can't tell you if it's tomorrow or they're going to sprint it to 1,000. But any major spike, I wouldn't be afraid to short it because eventually it's going to give it back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They broke NVIDIA when they dropped it 130 points in one day, right? In 30 minutes. So everybody who owns the stock now is saying, whoa. Now it's not 890. If they drop it 100 again from here, it'll be down to 790. I paid 300. I just gave back 200. Let me get the hell away from this thing. And that's what makes the sell-off happen. They changed the narrative of the stock and showed everybody what can happen when it gets wiped out. And it's all done because of fraud. Nothing else. The stock should be 2,000 already if they force settlement. Not 800, should be 2,000. If Elon Musk had any balls, I know he's standing up fighting for everybody on Twitter now, helping President Trump out. But at one point, he's got to help his shareholders out and do something to help them. Because now the narrative is negative on the electric cars. The batteries are no good. This company doesn't want it anymore. Blah, 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 blah. All they're trying to do is like the CEO of PLTR said, they're just trying to drag down companies. That's what they do. And again, if you want to really make some fast, easy money, just go get a Twitter account, start a website, and bash the stocks yourself. No one gives a shit, so do whatever you want. If they subpoena you, you go to court and say, hey, it's a freedom of speech. You could say whatever you like. Look at United Airlines. All they have is Boeing planes. The CEO runs around in drag. The planes are on fire. The doors are flying off, and the stock doesn't go down. You tell me. You want to own that stock? I don't even want to fly on their planes. Own their stock. Boeing needs to be punished. But we can't punish it because it's a major corporation in the United States. They should be losing business to Airbus like crazy. But the government will step in and make people buy planes from Boeing with the promise they're going to make sure that it works, everything works. What they have, 7 to 10 problems in the last month? Forget about the planes falling out of the sky. But yet their stock doesn't go down. Finger Motion's doing everything properly, does not raising any money. Everything's going great. Lynn Partners saying, fuck you to everybody. Your stock needs to go down because we're Lynn Partners. That's the United States. I'm only using Finger Motion because we understand Lynn Partners in the relationship. Imagine someone that lends your company money and the CEO goes to visit your lender, and the first thing out of his mouth is, I'm not shorting your stock. I don't know about you, but that's the tip-off that he is doing it. They're criminals. People on the street, all the SEC, FBI, Secret Service has to do is go to Benchmark. What day did Benchmark get the phone call from Finger Motion? What is the next phone call that Benchmark made? They probably sent it, called over to Lynn. We got you another sucker. Make sure you take care of us. And that's what they do. And then they start shorting it. That's it. Are they doing it through Benchmark? Does Benchmark have accounts that is doing it with Lynn? Benchmark is not going to do anything unless Lynn has the deal. And that's how that game works. GTI paid back the debt to the Kramers. And what do we get back as a thank you? Alpine defrauding the DTC. I'm not making it up. The proof is right there. Arbitrator did a great video a long time ago about all the things the Kramers have been being charged with as bad actors from FINRA, the SEC, blah, blah. They've been doing this for 20 years. We have people that are telling us they're trying to open up a new prime broker, raising money with the lawyer. His name is on Twitter. I forgot his name. They just keep going. Think about guys getting out of jail. They tell them you commit another crime. Most of them say, no, I just got out. These guys don't even care. Just keep stealing whatever they want to do. William Soar, one of the Kramers, showed up at the trade show, correct? Walking around looking for new victims. Today, the victims are at Roth Capital in California. They got a whole bunch of companies. Friends of mine are attending it. I should put the list of all the companies. The only people that are flying to go to California to a Roth conference are people that are going to short the stocks.
Or they're already short and they just want
they want to go befriend the CEO and totally destroy it. That's it.
They want to make sure there isn't anything happening.
Right. What's going on? You filing anything? You're filing with the what's it called? The FDA? Oh yeah, we filed yesterday. What do you mean? What did they say? They said everything looks great. They accepted the filing. And then they run out and they try to cover. Or if the company says, oh, we got to hand in some more, we got to do more data, they short it then. They kill you then. So the CEOs that go to these conferences, they all get ripped off. That's what happens.
I don't see who's here, panels. Agenda. Doesn't give the names of who they're, I guess everything's private maybe.
With what?
Roth Capital. I'm trying to look up which companies they're. Oh, here's the presenters. Riley Exploration, HF Foods, Bluebird Corp, Assured Guarantee, Glass House Brands, Klein, Loeb and Loeb. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend sent me a schedule. My friend, he's meeting with the CEO of POWW. He's meeting with XPON, AOUT, FBIO, CXDC, DERM, PODC, VNOF, ZCAR, AENT, ATEF, and LVO. He has one-on-one scheduled with all those guys. My friend manages a couple $100 million, and he always feels that he has to go to the Roth Capital, and he's been getting his ass smoked, and I always make fun of him. But he's an old timer, and he's been doing it so long, he just feels like that's the Wall Street he knew.
Oh, that's exactly right. Everything's changed. Everything's changed.
If he buys 500,000 shares and the stock goes up a quarter, he's got to sell it to get some returns.
Well, yeah, looking back, we should have sold every time these things went up.
Right.
But we weren't in it for 10 cents.
I'm not in
or-
it for that. I'm
Yeah.
not in it for that. Everyone at any time could do whatever they like. And I'm 99% sure most people do it. I've had people that win GTII and Finger Motion when they went from 60 cents to $9 and $10. They sold, and I never heard from them again. They don't give a fuck about naked short selling. They don't give a fuck about their mother. They wanted the profit and see you later. They went out and bought a car, went on vacation. Some people I know went and played the big board game and came back and they got wiped out because the game is too fast and they're not educated enough. But that's what happens.
Do you think ZJYL's potential squeeze has changed now
No.
that it's 3 instead
No,
of
no,
11?
No.
So it still can go as
So
high.
let's go back in time for the person who just said that.
Well, I changed it slightly. He said how.
The short is short below $20.
Right.
Am I correct? I said 20.
Yeah, 20 was where we heard originally. So,
It went to 300.
right.
If they didn't sell it at 300, they're not selling it wherever it is now. 60 now. What is it? $3?
Yeah.
That's $60. They
Yeah.
still got $40 more to go. These guys are underwater with. I told you before, if these people thought they would win, they'd let the stocks go higher. Look how fast they're trying to push it down. There's your sign that they're in trouble.
This guy is saying ZJYL is a scam, bro. I have 2,500 in it and I don't see it anymore. You know, if
What's
it's a
that?
scam, who the hell is benefiting from the scam, Aaron? Just don't trade it. Get out. Go put your money in Tesla or Walmart. You'd be better off.
Yeah,
there.
they guarantee you'll never lose there.
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 stocks that never go down, never will, always will go up for the rest of your life.
Right.
Obviously, I'm joking.
Listen, people that follow people yelling that every company's a scam, they're using the naked short and distort program. That's what that is.
Short and distort.
I could go out there. KNW is a scam. The CEO's a crackhead. How's that? He fucks little kids. How's you say that all day?
Yeah.
All right. That's what I think of the CEO is KNW for taking the money from Lynn Partners. How's that? That's how I feel. Do I have proof of it? No, but that's how I feel. It's a scam. That's how I look at it. Everybody who says the company's a scam is a shithead. All right. If he thought it was a scam, he should have looked into it before he put his money into it.
Right.
That's not up to us to determine if it's a scam. You determine that. Listen, people, I'm not going to hold back because I know the bullshit lines. When stocks are down, people are upset and scumbags come out and use the old scam, pump and dump lines. Those are people that are paid by criminals. Now, I'm not saying this guy's saying that, but they embedded it in his head.
Right.
I can go out there and post all day long and say the company's a scam. And just like I said, the CEO's a scumbag, whatever you want to say, whatever disgusting thing I can say, I can post it all day long. After a while, you start to believe it. When you hear about Capybara, the king of fraud, what he did in court the other day, he belongs in jail. I don't know how they let him out of the courtroom. And here it is. How did anyone let this character out of court? SHOT's accusing him of security fraud. Finger Motion's accusing him of security fraud. He fucks around in the U.S. court system in the Southern District. I'm sure it's on film. I can't wait to see if we get that fucking film and put it up for you to show you what real scumbags are like. Because I don't think there's anybody on this phone call who go into the Southern District of New York in a court and act like a fucking idiot like this guy did in front of everybody, and everybody knows what happened. And I'm just telling you that people that do that are they're complete frauds, thinking that they're untouchable. And I don't know how it's still going on. We've tried every day to expose these characters from Lynn Partners and their whole network. and that they still operate and no one does anything about it. I told you, anyone who thinks it's a scam, I'll help you out. I'll make up stories for you, post it under your name, and we'll retweet it all day and tell everybody what you said. I have no problem to do that. We'll short the stocks, we'll make money, and when everybody comes after you, you take the fall for it. You go to court like a big shot. That's what, if you have the balls to do that, then go do it. But don't talk shit that everybody's a scam. Think companies don't go in business. They have to file with the SEC. The company just got compliant with NASDAQ. You don't think they're filing papers with the NASDAQ? If you don't like their business, what the fuck did you invest in it for? No one ever said that the company's IBM or Microsoft. The company has a big short position. They're fighting to squeeze the shorts. That's what they're doing. Nothing's changed. But once again, people are listening to short sellers, or you may maybe be a short seller. This is their MO. I can do it all day long. I don't believe in doing that because it hurts companies, hurts shareholders, and it damages everything that's going on. I can go out there and yell Northwest Bio is a piece of shit. They're never going to save anybody with brain cancer. They fucking killing people. But you know what, something? I'm hoping that they save people. I'm doing the opposite.
There's only 7 companies in this country that have a good
That's
business plan. The rest
That's it.
are all
Everybody
bad
else-
business plans. They went to Harvard.
Everybody else.
They
opens a
worked
bad
their
business.
way up. Well, however they started in the United States of America, the CEOs are all frauds and all crooks.
That's exactly right. No one knows what they're doing. Only these 7 companies do.
Yeah. This is an interesting stat. I'll just summarize it. MULN, if you invested $1 million 2 years ago, you have 11 shares today worth $60 because of the reverse splits and all that. Your 250,000 shares are now 11 shares.
So this was a guy who was trying to start a new business, right?
Right.
A new idea, an electric car. So they're going to destroy it, and someone's going to steal his technology, and all the money that was invested they get for nothing.
Yep. But it's okay by the regulators. They don't care. One gentleman is asking you, why are you so committed, or should you be committed for your commitment to GDC? Why are you so strong on GDC? Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's my commitment to GDC?
Well, no, why are you committed to it? Why? Because it's just been going down and you're underwater.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm drowning. But I'm learning how to swim. Why am I committed to it? Because my friend, who is like a Bill Gates to me, a smart motherfucker that knows what he's doing, that's made millions and millions and millions in investing, told me about that. He bought 1 million shares at $4, $4.15. He has averaged down. He bought some more, so he's like $3.80. Now I can't stop the slide. I can't call him up and say, "Hey, you a scumbag. Did you short the stock to me?" He said, "No, I'm still long, and I believe it's going to explode." And I said, "Okay, what else can I say to him?" And that's how, for those people that don't understand it, that's how Wall Street works. That's how it works.
I agree with that. You learn more about a company after you invest than before you invest. The reasons you invest is because a friend told you, who you've grown to trust. I'm not talking about you heard it down at the shoe shine, but a guy or a girl tells you, you say, "All right, I'll take a chance," and then you learn about it. It's just how it goes.
Well, I still don't know what they do. I cringe and I don't look at it because I'm trying not to get upset with it, so I don't look at it. I did it for a reason, and I'm standing tall because I have no choice.
And that's one of the disciplines when you get into something, unless the story changes or unless you have a better opportunity, and those are subjective
Right.
points
Well,
of
I can
view,
tell you this.
you got to stay in, you got to ride it out.
I don't know. The only opportunity that two opportunities I would find money in would be Figure Motion, number one. And when GTI announces their deal, that would be number two. Other than that, I can't tell you of a stock, whether it's Rumble, RUM, MULN. I just feel that none of these companies have any control, have done nothing to show me that they're fighting back. I don't care what they do. It's very difficult to win. I don't care what you say, what you do. There's no way you're winning if a CEO doesn't fight back. That's why I have these conference calls to give you an example about what's going on. This is what it's about. A trading desk, we talk to each other. I be talking to my friend. What's going on? Stock doesn't go, it goes down every day. You don't think I ask him that every day? You don't think I've asked them what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I do.
I think
And I put it up this morning. I posted this morning on Twitter, and I said nothing has changed in the three symbols that I posted: GJYL, GDC, and TELO. Zero has changed. TEL just went public. The guy just paid $7. If anybody knows the value of the company in the IPO, he thought he got a good price at $7. The shorts attacked it twice already, out of the gate, straight down. If you haven't seen the fraud, it's right in front of you. Twice they did it. And they're so stuck in the stock they can't help it. And trust me, I'm down $4 in it myself, maybe $5 now. And I bought it all, and he's a smart motherfucker. And he's very, very rich. I just read what the companies do. They're trying to extend your life. So for the people that want to get on the extend your life line, read the news on this company. You don't have to invest. Read the news and follow them, what they're doing. If you got brain cancer, go read about Northwest Bio. I didn't say buy the stock. Read about what they're doing. If you got head and neck cancer, go look at CVM. Or if it's blood cancer, I think that's GERN. Someone reported me this morning today. Go read about them. Adam Bornstein was making fun of them. And someone told me they had good news. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to read it. Pick a stock. It's fraud everywhere. Just join the bad guys. Go write stories. Write whatever you like. No one cares. If you get enough where it spreads and gets viral, and everyone starts panicking and they sell the stock down, you make a fortune. That's called a short and distort. And one day the FBI and the DOJ is going to wake up and start locking people up. So if you want to go out there and make yourself a quick $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 being a short and distort, when you get arrested and you go to jail, see how much that money helps you out. That only shows me that the people doing this stuff are way offshore.
GDC, it's only 23,000 shares traded. Jeff, what's going on with ZJYL? It's getting hammered. It's the same with all these stocks. They sell shares that don't. They do not settle the trades, and they lie about being long, and then they move it around. It's just shuffling it. And when you get in and it's for attempt to participate in a short squeeze, or it's for fundamentals, in all of these stocks, the selling comes constantly. So you can't come and say, oh my gosh, it's getting hammered. You got to expect it. Every time you get in one of these, you got to expect it. The question is, do you buy more, do you sit, or do you sell? And those are your three choices. And I would buy more ZJYL, but I made my commitment.
Listen, I posted it this morning. Nothing has changed in those three names. I posted it this morning. That means I made the calls to the people that told me about it. and we'll post it tonight. I will check again, and I'll post it in the morning again. The same comments. When it changes, I will say, we're fucked in this thing, get out. There's nothing I can say. What happened? And I would tell you if I heard anything. But if I heard zero, like the same story.
This is an interesting question. When ZJYL goes up, they halt it. When it's going down, they don't halt anything.
That's
Which it's true, I guess. And
it's 100%.
you wonder who the regulators are there for, us or them. And I have a feeling it's for them. And one guy is saying he's got to get it. Just by definition, when low price stocks go down like this, it's a big multiple to go back up. But the point here is, you still, using pre-split numbers, you have 1.3 million shares in the float. You have one group of guys who own 1.3 million shares. And the short at that time was rumored to be 10 million, over 10 million shares.
At $20 a share.
At $20 a share. So that hasn't changed. All that's changed is the price in front of you, because someone is manipulating it, because Gary Gensler doesn't do his job. And if you want to read into it more than that, you can. But I would submit the reason you got in it in the first place is the imbalance could lead to a short squeeze. It's still there, but it's risk reward. It's going to be volatile, and that's life.
Listen, when you speak about Gary Gensler, just ourselves, we reported naked short selling crimes 13 times physically to his front door, correct?
Yeah.
And he's never addressed it, never said boo. MMTLP is breaking down the doors and no one even says anything. So it's like the elephant in the room. They just make believe it doesn't exist. If they don't say anything, they think it's going to go away. That's their game plan. And William, the most important thing I always tell you, time is a killer of all deals, and that's what they're doing to the MMTLP people. They're smothering them so they all die off one at a time. They'll lose 2 shareholders last year. This year they hope you lose 3, and that's it. And they keep hoping you die. That's what they're doing. And stocks that are trading, they're just hoping people give up and say, hey, that's all they want. And that's the freedom fighter that's out there. That's what happens.
My grandmother Caruso.
A freedom fighter with money is deadly. A freedom fighter that gives up, that's what they want. Everybody sits around them. That's what it's about.
My grandmother Caruso.
And I've taken odd jobs to survive. The craziest things I've done to survive, and here I am, I'm still alive. And I believe I'm only here for one reason, is to break this. That's it. I could put it up on Twitter. I could just tell everybody to go fuck themselves. I could go trade the video myself. I post up what I'm going to do. I don't fool around. I know what to do. I can trade. But yet I'm standing here doing this. There's people that fight for to close the border. There's people that fight to stop immigration. There's people that do this. People do that. My job has been making short selling to save you financially. We're trying to stop the 1,000 criminals that are looting everybody, the big boys down to the small players. I thought that the DOJ, the FBI, the Secret Service would love picking up the low-hanging fruit because they'll squeal on everybody real fast. Ken Griffith's a different animal. Pat Burns said he's tied to the Federal Reserve. That's a little different. And I thought that Ken Griffin would be the type of guy to throw the Kramers or Alpine or Lynn Partners and feed them to the alligators. I thought that would be the first. They'd be the first people to do that. Take the heat off of them and pass it on to someone else.
Yeah.
Listen, I have had friends that fought with me. I put their signs up, were standing on the corner with me. 20, they passed away. The SEC is hoping people like me pass away, drop dead. But then maybe the story goes away and they can go back to it. But I think that we really got them the last year. And I think the MFPL people have really done a great job. And everyone here has done a great job. And their job was to smother us. What was the American Revolution? They needed to stop the people going after, stop the insurrection, stop it. Because once you gain momentum, it gets exposed, right?
Right.
And that's what they tried to do with us. They tried to put a blanket on all of us, and hopefully we just die and go away. That's what they tried to do. And many people did die and go away. There's no doubt about it. There was a gentleman, I don't want to tell his name, these guys were on Twitter helping us out, did everything, help us out. All of a sudden he woke up, I'm done, take it easy. Never heard from him again. Guy we talk to every day. Take it easy.
Well, I mean,
And I got it. Life goes on. I tell people that life goes on. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They just they destroy companies, steal money, and it's like never ending. But the companies that fight back are still alive, right? MULN, how many times did they reverse, right?
well, one guy, I don't know this guy's name, Minter,
I don't.
David
Tell me
Mishry.
what-
David Mishry, he gets performance stock, but investors get screwed. So that's one way companies, CEOs stay alive. They can protect themselves. But
Listen, I followed a company, EKSO. I met the people that work for it, and they all got options and performance stock. And when the stock crashes, the company can't recalculate the pricing. They can't change it.
right.
So these people that were making, $70,000, their Christmas bonus money of $30,000, which would make the job better than their old jobs, they lost it, and they said we're working hard and we never get a bonus because our stock always goes down. So that's the way they have a debt spiral because the employees leave that. And now the companies can't get people out in the field because they can't pay anybody. They want people to take a bet with the company who believe in it. So they get those people in the beginning, and then eventually, hey, listen, for the people that hung in here at Microsoft in the beginning, or Amazon, the people that started in the beginning, they all became rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those are the good stories. Think about all the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Or the poor people that work for companies, work 2 years, and their stock is worthless. Think about the people in Root. They started as an IPO, everybody worked there. After 3 years, their stock was destroyed. They could go down the block and work for PLTR or somebody else, a Snowflake. What do? They leave and go work for the other company. So instead of having a guy that's $100,000 employee, they got someone that's worth $50,000 working for him, who can't do shit, and now he's the sales guy. So it becomes a debt spiral. And I posted the definition many times. You get debt spiral financing, or I just told you about how a debt spiral can wipe out the company's employees.
So who's gonna
You were all right with it?
win the March Madness?
I don't care. Listen, what did GTI close at?
It closed at 4:00.
What's the price?
You didn't like my non-humor. I think it was
No.
29 cents. Hang on.
It-
Closed at bid 28.5, asked 29.7.
Around 30 cents again. Same nonsense, right?
It opened at 33 cents. So
Every time it goes to 33, they push you right down to 30 all the time. I don't know why, what's going on. Is there some sort of crazy trade that they're doing against overseas? I don't know. Who knows what they're doing? But I just find that it's interesting that it's always 30 cents.
well, maybe they're moving the shares out of Alpine slowly.
Well, that's why I believe that Alpine has been stalling and paying millions of dollars in legal fees to do something. They're hiding something.
Yeah.
They keep dragging it on. It's like the guy on death row. Eventually, they're going to kill you. So that's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to stay alive.
Well, none of us get out of this alive.
Is that any more questions? Because I'm going to go.
Yeah, I've had enough too. So it's there are no.
Sign off, go for a walk, take a breath, and we'll get him tomorrow.
Thank you, hamster.
No problem.
All right, bye.
Call ended.
All right, guys, it's 4:00. I'll listen a little bit more, but we'll probably sign off. I really hope I'm not getting sick. I don't think, hope not. But there were some questions here. I do want to address this little green candle. I didn't know that Lou might have died. I hope not. And if he's ill, I hope he recovers quickly. And somebody else here said we need to pray for him, and I agree with that. To say a prayer for Lou and his health. Hopefully, it's his health for his recovery. I really do think that he saw something and tried to share it with everybody, and showed how there was a way to make money. At the end of the day, I get frustrated with certain things that happen and what some people decide. But the real issue is the regulators, the broker dealers, and the organizations like NASDAQ they're not interested. They have no curiosity why every single company gets destroyed. They have no curiosity. They live in their mansions. They do not care whether or not there's settlement, whether securities laws are enforced. And thirdly, they recognize that there's no penalty. It's no different than those mobs that go into needless markup and steal all the clothes and no one gets arrested. No one gets arrested. Well, I hope it wasn't one of those infections they can't cure. Yeah, we'll have to say a prayer. What do I think about the connection issue this morning? the standing in line with Mr. Jimmy? I don't know what connection issue. So that shows how in touch I am. In retrospect, the one thing, Mike, is some of us, me, it's all or none. Maybe when these things run, you sell half, and your gain is going to be smaller than what you thought it would, but at least you book some gain. I don't know what the connection is. Connection issue. My computer? I agree with that. Well, pre-market was having connection issues. Well, there's a solar flare coming. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what was his surgery for. Yeah, my computer. Let me see if it's overheating. Yeah, Keith, it's really hot. So that's what's happening. All right. Something in his brain. There's a lot of that when you think about it. McCain and Kennedy, and there's somebody else recently. I hope that's not all cell phones. All right. That doesn't sound hopeful. We'll have to give them a little luck of the Irish. Maybe and say prayers. We can add Lou to our prayers tonight, or whenever, or our thoughts. But I'm going to sign off. It's 4:09, and we'll just take this time. It's relatively nice outside to not do much while the markets are quiet. We won't give it a full court press. So anyway, I wish everyone peace, love, and happiness. Remember to pray for Lou Bravo. Pray for his health. Pray for his family. And if he's died, pray that his sins are forgiven and that he's in heaven. And then I still always suggest we pray for Jenny L. and her family and her health, and everyone else in this battle. Pray for Ham's son, and pray for each of you that we get some surcease from this onslaught. And it may be that we need to just start moving on from this part of the market and get into things that are working, maybe. I'll look into that. I like that idea. I'm going to go walk Lucky Boy. Poor guy. He's so slow, but he he doesn't miss a sniff, I'll tell you that much. So anyway, a belated happy St. Patrick's Day. And we'll look forward to better trading days ahead. And thank you, Mexican. Thank you, Little Green. So catch you on the flip side.